The Aether update. I've had this update on my mind for a while, making different ideas and different designs for what this update would be about, what would it include. But I think this version is my favorite one. It adds a new dimension, of course, the Aether dimension, and a new structure. So let's get right into the update.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Mr. Charlie Puth on keys.
So, when you're trying to beat Minecraft, you need blaze rods and ender pearls. You get blaze rods from blazes at blaze spawners. You get ender pearls from villagers, piglin bartering, or killing an enderman. The one problem with this is the game rule, do mob spawning. See, this game rule turns off mob spawning. Say you need to turn it off for any specific reason, maybe doing a playthrough where you want it to feel apocalyptic and empty. Well, you can't get the items you need to defeat the ender dragon. Even though do mob spawning is off and mobs don't spawn, the ender dragon does actually still spawn. But how do you get to him? With one thing, spawners. They still spawn the mob inside of them. So it means blazes still spawn, you can get blaze rods still. But ender pearls. How do you get ender pearls? Piglin bartering, you don't need to kill anything. Well, piglins don't spawn for you to partner with piglins. Villagers, well, they don't spawn for you to trade with them. And of course, like I said, you can't kill endermen since they don't spawn. So where do you get this? Well, to add another element to the game, you can go to the Aether dimension to find one of these. After, of course, getting the right elements to go to the Aether dimension. If you watch my previous video, I talk about these new item you need to get to the Aether dimension, the golden water bucket. But anywho, once you get to the Aether dimension, you'll have to explore a little bit, but you will find a citadel. It's like another fortress, but instead of being a fortress, it's a tower. Each floor of the citadel, if you start at the bottom, will have different types of challenges, let's say. Different mobs to fight, other Aether mobs, or just scary mobs in general. Kind of like the trial chambers. I had this idea before, the trial chambers, but it's kind of like the trial chambers. Even my bird agrees it's like the trial chambers. She's always tweeting these videos. But once you reach the top of the citadel, you will find the Enderman spawner. Or will you? Actually, my idea is that it's not the Enderman spawner. It's a different creation, an Enderling. See, the lore for this character is that the ancient builders, a group of them went to the end, of course, like how Game 3 is suggesting. But another group went to this new dimension, the Aether. Going to this dimension, they found all these great holy creations, all these great beautiful creations, angelic creatures, pigs with wings, cows with wings, these cloud creatures. They thought it was beautiful. They thought, maybe if these things can be so beautiful, why can't we make something our own? We're powerful, we want many dimensions. We made the warden, we made the wither. So they decided to create something of their own. The ancient builders that went to the end, of course, they transformed into endermen after some time of being there. And some of the endermen actually make their way to the overworld and to the Aether. The ancient builders there in the Aether see the endermen and see the teleportation skills and think, them combined with our brains would make something magnificent. See, the ancient builders can build, they can create, but they can still die. If they teleport around, they would be harder to kill, and they'd be more against the creations they've already built, like the Wither. So they decide to combine the human aspect of them with the Enderman aspect of the Enderman. However, instead of creating something amazing, they created this unholy creature, the Enderling. It can't teleport, and it can't think for itself. It's more like the worst of both worlds. Now, back to game mechanics. The Enderling doesn't drop ender pearls, it drops ender pearl shards. Because, like I said, it's not a full enderman. You need 4 ender pearl shards to make 1 ender pearl. And the average drops of this is like 1 to 3 for each enderling. So, you won't need a lot until you get him, but you'll need a decent amount. You need to stay there for a little bit. But other than these features that I've talked about, and of course the same features from the Aether mods, I don't think there's really anything else for this update that I need to talk about. So I guess, comrade, over and out.